If you are over 50 and you're considering starting a YouTube channel, run, don't walk, and just get started. I am 63 years old and I want to share how YouTube changed my life as a creator over 60 in just 3 months. You are wondering, can older people make a go for it on YouTube? Maybe you're retired and you want to start something new. Maybe you want to leave a legacy. Maybe you're a really great cook, a great gardener. You have adventures that you want to take and you want to document for your children, for your grandchildren, for your great-great-grandchildren. And you just think that it would be a blast to do it on video. Or you're thinking that you want to just try something new and maybe monetize your life and monetize your experience. Maybe you want to do car review videos. Maybe you want to do fashion videos. The sky is the limit. I know that when I was younger and when you were younger, assuming that you're over 50, we would have to hire a very expensive photographer for some really good pictures that we can now get as seniors, as people over 50, from our iPhones and from just taking selfies and using the numerous apps online that make us look gorgeous. Also, if we wanted to record a song that we had written, we would have to go into the studio and spend all of this money. We can use GarageBand. We can hire a drummer in another state and use online files. There's all kinds of things that we can do. Maybe we have an idea for a movie. We can make our own movies. There's so much that we can do by building an audience these days where we don't need to spend a fortune, and we can create our own brand, we can build our own audience, and we can have a blast and make money in the process. Let me share my story as somebody over 60 who has a successful YouTube channel and who simultaneously then is starting 2 other YouTube channels, and tell you how I did it, and also give you an invite to my Patreon channel called Old People on Social, or Old People on YouTube, because I think it's great for us to have a community together. I am Deanna. My main channel is called Hot for History, where I share history shorts. I started in 2022 with just doing some history videos, a minute or less. And then I grew that in just a few months to have over 100,000 subscribers. And then in 3 years, now I have 293,000 subscribers. I've had over 182 million views on that channel alone, and cross-platform with TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. I've had about 500 million views, made a decent amount of money, had sponsorships, and really enjoyed it. And now I'm venturing into coaching people over 50 years old, and then also heading into some tech reviews, talking about my life as somebody who's had a silver divorce, getting a divorce after 37 years of marriage, and being on my own for the first time, renovating an old family house. There's so much to do. It's not like our grandparents or our great-grandparents where you retired and you were done. Now you can be vital. Let's say you want to work and you've been applying for jobs. I've been there, and they're like, oh my gosh, I know that they're older. They're supposed to not discriminate against age, but they do. You can start your own business. There's so much that we can do, and it helps us to stay fresh. What happened with me is that I bought my great-grandparents' house in 2022. I started documenting the home, but I was living in Florida at the time, and the house was in the Midwest. So when I wasn't here documenting the stories behind this 106-year-old beautiful house, I then started to do history videos. I did history videos about Lincoln, Grover Cleveland, Benjamin Franklin, what women did for their periods at the turn of the century. All kinds of unique videos. I talked about the royal family and their history, and it has been a blast. That channel just started to grow and grow and grow. And it gave me a purpose and a reason to work, and it's been so much fun. With that, I've been able to do UGC content, meaning user-generated content, for such brands like Netflix, National Geographic TV, Peacock, Random House, Cartier, Tiffany, Elizabeth Taylor brands, all kinds of fun brands because of my short videos. Now I'm venturing into long form, and you can do shorts, you can do long form, but if you study the demographics and if you kind of look behind the scenes with YouTube, more and more people are using YouTube on their televisions. So they're sitting in their recliners or in their chairs and watching. And there's so many people over 50 years old, 60 years old watching YouTube for not only bite-sized short content, but for full episodes. So you can have your own television show that you produce. For me, it's been really fulfilling. And now I'm to the point where I just want to create a community of other people our age that can get together and talk about it and that we can brainstorm and do this together. But why should you? What are you afraid of? One of the things that you can think of regarding YouTube is leaving a legacy, telling your story. Maybe your children or grandchildren haven't heard your stories. Maybe it's important to document the stories of your parents, of your great grandparents, so that your children and your grandchildren can know more about their own personal history. Or maybe you have recipes you'd like to share or gardening tips with your children or grandchildren. Maybe they don't live close by. Many of us have children that live all over the country. I have 7 kids. I have 2 by birth, 5 internationally adopted, and we have our kids all over North Carolina, California, Florida, Illinois, all over the country, and they travel a lot. So the thing about having a channel is that I can do things where they can see and they can be a part of my life, and vice versa. They can do the same for me. So leaving a legacy is really great. Another thing is sharing your voice. Many of you have so much great advice. It will make you feel more confident about yourself and where you are, not minimizing your experience of age, but instead being able to share with people, like, what was your experience when you had to go through a hard time, when maybe you lost a loved one, when you lost a child? What was your grief process like? What can you give to other people as far as advice to help them to go through the same process? Maybe you're like me and you're a divorced woman at the age of 60, not quite knowing what to do. What is the process like? Maybe you can share that with other people. Or maybe you just have great tips. Maybe you've always been resilient. Maybe you've built an amazing business from scratch, not once, not twice, but 3 times. And many people would like to hear how that works, how that happens. Or maybe you've just struggled in your life. You've had physical challenges, or maybe you're a great athlete still to this day, and you want to share what your tips are for being the best runner, for being the best Pilates instructor, or how do you stay in shape after 50? It's endless what you can do. You can share your crafts. You can share so much. Maybe you're a photography buff. It doesn't matter. It will help you build confidence. The other thing is, so many people feel lonely. You can create a community like I'm doing on Patreon. Feel free to just click through and look at the description to see my Patreon offerings. But I have a new Patreon. It's called Old People on Social. And it's really for us to get together and see how we can share what we love on social media. Maybe you want to have some friends. Some of my best friends, and also some of them have become business partners. I hadn't even met them in person for years, and we were making money together and we were doing business together. And they lived in another part of the country, but I would speak to them every single day. So there's always that. You can build community and friendship. And many people say that after a certain age, especially, you need to have friends. Of course, it's better to meet one-on-one, face-to-face. But if you don't have that benefit, then being able to talk to people online and form friendships is so vital for your own personal health and your mental health and your self-care. And the other thing is that you can create income. For many people, their Social Security or their retirement is not what it should be. And considering where there's a huge market for creators like yourself, like myself, over 50, who are creating content that other 50 and 60-year-olds and 70-year-olds maybe even like, then you're creating an additional income stream for yourself beyond your retirement. If you want to go on vacation, maybe you can get some AdSense. You can get sponsorship deals. You can even get brands that want to sponsor you, and you can sell some of your digitized or even some products that you create. You can sell digital products. You can sell actual products. You can become an affiliate. Let's say you didn't really want to get a job because you want your time freedom. This is a great chance for you to continue to be vital, to be a strong business person, to be able to give back to people with your advice, with everything, by going on to YouTube and creating a channel and talking about that content. So one of the first things you do need to do, though, is to pick a topic. I have a course called Scratch Your Niche, which gives you several different topic prompts or ideas. Of course, you want to create something that's authentic to you and real to you. I have so many different ideas of things that I like, but it's always good to let YouTube know what your topic is. So for example, I was doing history. I did excel mainly in women's history, but I did all kinds of history, and that worked for me on Hot for History, and it still will. I'm moving into coaching other people my age and older or even younger about YouTube and how to grow on social media even as they age. I'm also going to be doing some tech reviews with cars, nice hotels, luxury products. And so there's always a niche that you can do. You can have a couple channels if you like. I've seen people do channels strictly on the hydraulic press or on how to mow a lawn. There are so many things that you can do that you would be surprised that you can make money with. Keep in mind whatever your niche is going to be. Share your voice, as I mentioned before. Start with what you have as far as tech. If you have an iPhone, I filmed so many videos on iPhone. It was so easy. And you can even edit on apps like Instagram if you're doing short video, or teach yourself how to do Premiere Pro or Final Cut Pro, which is what I use. There's so many videos on YouTube that can teach you. Go to the school of YouTube as a 50-plus-year-old creator, and you will see amazing things happen in your life. And you'll be learning things, or you can teach people things that you know. Maybe you're a history teacher. Maybe you're a math teacher. You can coach people that way. And be patient with yourself. YouTube is relatively easy to do, but there's a lot of nuances in order to be successful, like creating a thumbnail and a title, being aware of the algorithms. That's why I'm having a group on Patreon so that people can come together and we can learn things. Just be patient with yourself. Take it one day at a time and produce content. Be consistent. Don't worry about being fancy and having the best editing in the beginning. Just do what you can and share your wisdom with people, but be encouraged. People are doing so well on YouTube, over 40, over 50, over 60, people who want their time freedom like myself, who don't want to be stuck with a 9 to 5, especially if you have children and grandchildren. You want to be able to do something productive that makes money, but you don't want to take away from your quality time or your travel time with your family or the people that you love. So with all that being said, please know that YouTube did change my life at the age of 60 in 2022 when I created my channel, Hot for History. And now it's just getting better and better. And I'm looking forward to more content that I can create, more ways for me to teach you how to do the same and how I did it. I'm starting this Old People on YouTube channel because there are so many people on YouTube that are older, who don't have a hub to go to, who don't know where to go to get advice. And I just think it would be a great thing for me to create content for them specifically. And it doesn't necessarily match for me to put this particular video over on my Hot for History channel. You're over 40, 50, or 60, and you want to create a legacy. You want to build a brand. You want a new business. You want to be able to share with the people that you love things that are on your mind and on your heart, especially when you're healthy. You are not too late. I know people will say, you're too late, you're too old. And you might be telling yourself you're too old, but you need to change the mindset and realize you are not too old. And you can start your channel now. With that being said, please subscribe to Old People on YouTube, here on YouTube. Check out my Hot for History channel too. Check out in the description my Patreon group where we will share a lot of tips. I also am putting a course together. I do have a course called Scratch My Niche that I'm putting together for you as well. You can take a look at that, find some really great ideas, and welcome to the next chapter of your life. The best is yet to come.